This video will be banned. My last torn warning. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name is Neil, Neal, even though the translator says it incorrectly. You got to get it correct. This is Tornado Cash. I've been talking about this for months. For those of you who've been following along, you're probably getting sick and tired of me telling you about this coin. This coin washes cryptocurrency. It's essentially tax evasion. I don't know how to create a shell company, but the fact that you can use cryptocurrency and wash money, people stole billions or millions or billions of dollars in Bitcoin and washed it with Tornado Cash, and it's anonymous. There's no way to track it, which I think is phenomenal. This is not financial advice in any way. This is not tax evasion advice in any way. But Tornado Cash has been in a slow upward progression. It has bottomed out, and it is starting to form very bullish movements. You could see that this would be more of a W, and we could see that push to $26 or higher, and it's at its prime. The past few videos, I've begged you guys to enter here at $11, even though we were testing that multiple times. I was expecting a move like this to 13 before, and we had that pullback. There was, I believe somebody was getting sued or something, but Vladimir Putin, the guy who created Ethereum, a little freaky dude, but very intelligent, he's backing this coin, which is very good news. So with his backing, we had a break of a downward trend line, further continuation up to 18. From 11 to 18, pretty good ROI before immediately pulling back to give you the opportunity to enter in at $11 again. Immediately push back up to around 17 and then up to $22 more or less before the rejection, giving you yet another opportunity to get in at that $11 price point, and it got support yet again by the $11 price point and the 200 EMA. 200 EMA is just a stone cold wall. Stone Cold says so. This is a phenomenal, very bullish, very healthy market, as it's not just running way away to $21 and having that continuation like we actually saw with Dash, where it had that break of $72 and immediately pushed up to $120, $150 before having that major rejection, because it has to get closer to this 200 EMA and get that support within this area. We are at $90, so actually it tested this area of support. We'll do that in a different video. But Tornado Cash, it broke a downward trend line right here, had that push up, and then it started creating a channel. Because it had that push up, got trapped, tried breaking out of the channel, but it was too early, too far away from the 200 EMA, had that rejection, came back down, and it did not even touch this downward trend line. It held support at that $11 mark. So $11 is about as cheap as you're going to be able to get it. Even though it's $16, you have not missed the train. It has not taken off. So use the reference link below from XC. Get yourself 20 USDT for free. When you use MEXC, I always recommend using a VPN. If you're in the US, it's a legit site, but I always recommend using Proton VPN. It's free, puts you in the Netherlands. Download that, get your account on MEXC using the reference link, 20 USDT for free, throw it right into Tornado Cash, and we have broken another downward trend line. Just yesterday, I was saying we might have a little bit of rejection due to the wick-offs, and if we can hold above this downward trend line, we can start seeing some more bullish momentum. You say, why is that important? Well, let's go back in history. We had rejection here around the 1537. Even further back, if we drag this line, drag this line further over, we had some more rejection, drag it further over, we had some more rejection, but if we can be holding that as support, like we are currently over it at the moment, if this can close and we might see a little bit of consolidation, We can see this being the next support level like we saw with $10 to $11. With that support level, there's only one way to go. It's up. Look at that. It just popped up probably 5% by the time I said that. Not saying that it's not going to have a little bit of rejection, but if we can close in the next 13 hours, more or less, we can start seeing that continuation. This is the smaller Fibonacci to be looking at. It's actually a little incorrect because it hit a little lower. Say this is the Fibonacci. We're right at the 618, typical point where we get a little bit of rejection like we had with these two wick-offs. Beyond that, we're looking at the 786 where we had a little bit more rejection, which is another downward trend line. So we could be potentially working within this range, right in here. But we want to see this hold at the $15 mark and just getting a close, very nice, healthy market. Out of all the markets, even though Bitcoin is having that continuation in a drop, we are getting a little support, but it's nothing, to rant about. We can see it break this 786, breaking the downward trend line. The full one retracement is up here at $21. So using that reference link, you'd only get one, more or less, Tornado Cash. But using the reference link right now, you can get over one Tornado Cash. Keeping in mind the all-time high is $459. Free money getting you more free money. Who doesn't want that? I want you guys to be profitable. That's why I do these videos. And if you've been heeding my opinion, I know some of you have, you are more than likely in profit, whether you entered in at $11,750 at the original entry, $13. Any entry currently is in profit. So there's one way to go, which is up. When we break the downward trend line, full one retracement at 21, the next real resistance is 25. You say why? Because we're looking at previous history and data. Roughly $25 to $27. Currently at 16. Very good risk to reward ratio. And looking at this Fibonacci that is placed in here, I'll try and grab it, this area, this is the previous Fibonacci, 26 to 27, that's where we get the resistance. Beyond that's the 786 at 32. Beyond that's the full one retracement at $39 to $40. Having the opportunity to enter at $11 to $16 is phenomenal because beyond $39, let's go further back in history. Excuse me. $32, we had that resistance back here. This is actually really, we could drag this all the way over here. And we can see that back here on April 11th, we had that as support and pushed up even higher up to around $58 before getting a little resistance. That's where we could expect a little bit further more resistance. $58 dropping all the way down to $40. You could be selling off here and getting a potential 30% more by selling off around 58, re-entering. But you want to keep in mind that we had this resistance down here. We hit, for example, going in reverse, we hit all the way down here at $20 before pushing up to around 68, that consolidation, and then ultimately dropping down to the 20-ish before pulling back up to 32. This is kind of how you are piecing together the charts. And I believe we will get that resistance at 58, but beyond 58, you're looking at $93 before pulling all the way back to around potentially $27. An example again is Dash, but with that pullback, the next real resistance, 146, 618 is up here at 289, full one retracement, 459, and typically when we hit the 459, you could expect a minimum of double. So using the reference link, you can turn $20 into more than potentially $1,000. I want a motorcycle. If I can put $20 and get a good payment started on a motorcycle, that'd be great. but I definitely have a little bit more money put into Tornado and could buy a motorcycle a little bit quicker because I entered in at 750, 11, and 13, all in profit. That's it for this video. Use the reference links, like and subscribe like I explained on the other video. I am almost monetized. If you guys are not willing to donate, some of you are, which greatly appreciated. Woozall, Joe, all that stuff. Those who aren't subscribed, I need about 197 more of you to do that, and a couple more hours of watch time. First watch time is 3,000 hours. I need about 300 more hours. Keeping in mind, I get about 50 hours of watch time only for my XCN videos. So with that being said, I'm going to cover some other coins. Do your due diligence. Use that reference link. Get yourself Tornado Cash before I have to say I told you so. And sorry, it may not be the best entry at $26 as you may have a pullback. Sorry, it's up at $39. You may have a pullback. Keep it in mind, you are at a very low price point. You're breaking trend lines. You're building support. You're above the CM Guppy. You're building volume. You're not overbought in RSI. Everything is extremely healthy for Tornado Cash right now. Good luck. Have fun with it. I'll see you on the next one.